Ladies and gentlemen, Behind the Line proudly presents to you another exciting rendition of the woke turning on the woke. This always happens. There is absolutely no loyalty in this woke movement. Yet for some reason, these people involved, these people that are loyal to this movement based on myths and fantasies, for some reason, they always think they're going to be different. I've been loyal. Black Lives Matter. They'll always have my back. I rigorously campaigned for Joe Biden. I know Uncle Joe. He will be there if I ever need him. I defended cackling Kamala when everyone else thought she was useless. I know the world's most famous cackler will always have my back. WNBA participant Brittney Griner, she has been a loyal social justice warrior, one of the most loyal. Now notice I did not say WNBA star. As you guys know, there is no such thing as a star in the WNBA. There are no stars in the stands watching them, and there are damn sure no stars on the court. The only time a participant in the WNBA comes close to stars is when they leave the arena and look up into the night sky. The WNBA is a league, a dump, filled with blind followers to the social justice movement. And with good reason from their perspective. These women, they receive unjustified six-figure salaries. Stephen A. is paid $12 million a year to promote mythical racism on ESPN. The ladies of the WNBA, they only receive low six-figure salaries. Now, what's the difference between the two? Stephen A. Smith has an actual platform. He has influence. When he speaks, people listen. Participants in the WNBA, they are being paid out of sympathy. They're funded by the NBA and receive donations from woke corporations looking to boost their ESG scores and receive a charitable tax write-off. And speaking of donations, Patreon links in the description below. If you want to support the channel financially, head on over to Patreon and sign up. You can make a one-time donation, monthly donation, whatever you think is appropriate. I appreciate everyone that signed up through Patreon so far. I can't tell you how much it helps the channel. At least twice a week, my videos will get flagged by YouTube as content not suitable for advertisers. Now, 99% of the time, they're approved once a YouTube human reviews the video. But that can take hours. Sometimes it takes days. By the time they're approved, in most cases, I have lost the bulk of the revenue I would have made from advertising. It can get incredibly frustrating, but the donations that I get from Patreon, it helps to offset this problem. So again, thanks to all of you guys that have already signed up. If you want to join our little Patreon family, click the link in the description below and go over there and sign up. It's always optional, but always appreciated. Anyway, the point I was trying to make before I went on my Patreon soliloquy, Brittney Griner has been blindly loyal to the woke movement. First day of the 2020 WNBA regular season, woke welfare recipients, they decided kneeling for the national anthem, that wasn't enough. We have been kneeling for years and no one pays attention to us. Our message is not being received. We must find a better way to bring awareness to the mythical racism that we endure. Brittney Griner decided enough with the kneeling. First game of the regular season, national anthem, it begins to play in the arena. The arena is deadly silent. All three fans in attendance were on their knees, hands over their non-binary hearts. Rats in attendance, they paused from chewing on the electrical wires to honor the national anthem. Brittney Griner and the WNBA players, they walked off the court during the playing of the national anthem. This is what they called a peaceful protest. Later that season, Brittney Griner urged the WNBA to just quit playing the national anthem altogether. That song represents white people. It does not represent me, who identifies with the gay. It would be more appropriate to play RuPaul for this league full of alphabet identifiers. She wore the name of Breonna Taylor on the back of her jersey. Brittney Griner was front and center in the fight against mythical police brutality. When I say front and center, I don't mean like LeBron James. LeBron James, he actually has a platform. I guess I should say Brittney Griner was in the back of the social justice parade against police brutality because very few people were paying attention to her. She was also a never Trumper. Now, there's a reason I bring all this shit from the past up. I want to make sure you know, I want to paint a clear picture of how loyal Brittney Griner's been to this movement. But in reality, there is no loyalty amongst lovers of butt bongo. Brittney Griner is finding this out the hard way. Last weekend was the 4-year anniversary for Brittney Griner and her wife, Cherelle Griner. Now, I hope I'm using the proper terminology by calling Cherelle Griner her wife. I don't know if they classify themselves as wife and wife, husband and wife, rake and shovel. Who the fuck knows? Perhaps I'm even using improper pronouns. If so, I sincerely apologize. Now, all jokes aside, I actually do feel bad for the wife of Brittney Griner. A small part of me even feels bad for Brittney Griner herself. She has been detained pretty much this entire year for possessing a small amount of hash. I think it would be a misdemeanor here in America, if it's even illegal. But my sympathy quickly fades for Brittney Griner because she spent the last 2 years shitting on us here in America. Cherelle Griner, though, I mean, she's innocent in all this. Now, I'd be willing to bet she's a regular attender at Woke United Methodist, but I don't have any proof of that. Last weekend, in celebration of their 4-year marriage anniversary, Cherelle and Brittney Griner had scheduled a phone call. Now, they've been unable to speak to each other since Brittney Griner's been incarcerated in Russia. They worked with Russian authorities as well as the American embassy in Moscow. This phone call had been scheduled for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Plenty of advanced notice, plenty of time for the American embassy to coordinate schedules. Arranging a phone call like this, there is a lot that goes into it. It's not like receiving a call from someone in an American prison. Here in America, most prisons have phones available to inmates. They purchase minutes, they can call their friends and family throughout the day. No schedule, no advance notice is needed. The only thing an American prisoner requires is the person on the other end of the phone to be willing to accept the charges. Now, that's not the way it works when you're being detained in a foreign country. Friday night rolls into Saturday morning. Both Brittney and Cherelle Griner are ecstatic. 2 woke lovers, finally able to conversate in their woke language. Brittney Griner was given a phone number by the American embassy. She calls the number. No answer. Dials it again. No answer. Dials it again. No answer. She repeats this process 11 times. Each time, her husband or wife, whatever she calls her, was not on the other end of the phone. We are sorry, the party you are calling is unavailable. Please check your woke welfare account to ensure proper funds have been deposited. Now you may be thinking, KC, did the WNBA forget to deposit Brittney Griner's woke welfare? No, that wasn't the case, though those checks are known to bounce. The American embassy, they didn't have any staffers available to answer the call and connect Brittney Griner to her wife because the call was scheduled during the weekend. Yeah. All the staffers at the embassy, they had the weekend off. You know, part of me hates to laugh because I know this had to be incredibly frustrating. I don't like to kick people when they're down. But you know what? This is the type of treatment you receive when you sell your soul to Woke United Methodist. I told you guys months ago when Cherelle Griner was pinning her hopes on Joe Biden getting her wife released that you're barking up the wrong tree, that dog won't hunt. This man can't ride a fucking bike. He can't walk without falling down. And you expect him to be able to negotiate with a skilled dictator in a country notorious for their discrimination against letters of the alphabet, and you expect Joe Biden to get your G and LGBT released from prison? They can't even coordinate a fucking phone call. The American embassy, they called this a logistical error. A logistical error? Why don't you just be honest here? Let's call this what this really is. No one at the embassy cared enough about Brittney Griner. The WNBA, they have been pressuring Joe Biden for months now to speak with Cherelle Griner. Guess how many times Joe Biden's reached out to her? Guess how many times? Zero. Zero. For months, they have been pressuring Joe Biden to get Brittney Griner released. Russia keeps extending her vacation. This is one of the reasons that I say there are no stars in the WNBA. In the WNBA community, also known as the LGBT community, but in that community, Brittney Griner is considered to be a superstar. But in the real world, she's unknown. Joe Biden doesn't give a shit about the release of Brittney Griner. Donald Trump, he was able to get ASAP Rocky released in a month. ASAP Rocky was involved in a brawl in Europe. Trump had him home in 30 days. Brittney Griner gets caught with some hash. She might be in Russia for the next fucking decade. Imagine if Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, even LeBron James, imagine if they were detained in Russia. You think the government would remain silent about it? Where the hell is Black Lives Matter? Brittney Griner's been a strong supporter of BLM. Where the fuck are they at? I think the only thing they've done is start some useless petition that couldn't get enough signatures to make an impact. Matter of fact, where is the entire alphabet community? Where's GLAAD? Where are the Rainbow Warriors? Where's Woke U? Where's Bomani Jones? I haven't heard Bomani Jones accuse Vlad of discrimination. This entire movement has turned their back on their sister in woke. Why? Why do you think that's the case? Because they can't monetize the fight to get Brittney Griner back home. They can't monetize the fight to get her released. They could monetize George Floyd. They could monetize Breonna Taylor. They could monetize the disrespect of America and the national anthem. They can't monetize Brittney Griner because 99% of the country doesn't care. Most people never heard of her. The mainstream media, as much as they love their woke welfare recipients in the WNBA, the mainstream media barely mentions Brittney Griner. And the reason is they can't make any money off of it. This dump of a league, the WNBA, they were once again gifted free airtime on broadcast television this past weekend. Now, normally, it's ABC who donates airtime to this dump, but they were too busy Sunday afternoon airing reruns of Sanford and Son. CBS, they decided it was their turn to completely waste a 3-hour block of television real estate. It's the strangest thing. When ABC airs WNBA games on the weekend, the ratings somehow get lost in the mail. Every time. Every time. When I went to check the ratings, I thought, this surely can't be the case with CBS 2. One of these networks, one of these broadcast networks, they must have qualified woke U graduates in the mailroom who are experts in stamp placement. Imagine my surprise when CBS failed to report WNBA ratings for Sunday afternoon. That damn post office, they did it again. ESPN, though, they managed to report their ratings for the exciting matchup between the Seattle Shitfucks and the New York Transgender Liberty. 289,000 viewers, which falls in line with the 10 to 20% drop in ratings we've seen throughout the WNBA this season. This league has absolutely no leverage, no cultural impact. This Brittney Griner situation, this is an embarrassment for the WNBA. Not only does it show the lack of loyalty in the woke movement, it shows your lack of relevance. You can't get enough people to give a fuck about the supposed biggest star in your league. No one cares. Many people actually would prefer Brittney Griner remain in Russia. You spent years complaining about living conditions here in America. Enjoy your vacation in Russia. I hear the accommodations are excellent. 3 meals a day, sometimes. A nice cot for resting. When they transfer prisoners, they all fly coach. Brittney Griner should be used to this. It's the same level of accommodation she receives from the WNBA. But let me know what you think. The lack of loyalty in the woke movement. Brittney Griner, being turned on by her own peers and the president she helped get elected? Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.